Welcome to a new series being brought to you by the Baseball Card Illustrated channel that we hope will spread throughout the cardmunity, entitled The Rob Deere Starting Lineup World Tour. The way we hope this will work is that this Rob Deere starting lineup figure, shown here with a collection of cards from his playing days, will be passed around, and whoever receives it will create a video showing the cardmunity around their hometown, with Rob Deere effectively serving as a tour guide. This is the first of what we hope will be many of these videos. If you received the figure, we invite you to have some fun with this and allow the cardmunity to get to know a little bit about you and where you're from. After creating a video, we hope you'll send it along to one of your favorite content creators, along with a little friend mail incentive. We can't wait to see your videos and to find out where this figurine travels on the Rob Deere World Tour. Thanks in advance for playing along, and we hope you enjoy this look at the Greater Milwaukee Area. The first stop on the Milwaukee leg of the Rob Deere Starting Lineup World Tour is at Miller Park and the Brewers Wall of Fame outside the stadium. While Rob didn't play any of his hits at this venue, his 137 homers as a member of the Brewers came at Milwaukee County Stadium, which is now a Little League field located in the Miller Park parking lot. His greatness is on display so that future generations can learn all about the legendary right-handed slugger. This is a shot of Miller Park from the entrance to the parking lot. You can see the panels of the retractable roof are open, as if the stadium and the entire city are smiling because the Easter Sunday 1987 hero is back in town. Rob Deere played alongside a two-time MVP during his time with the Brewers when he roamed the outfield next to Hall of Famer Robin Yount. He wanted to check out the city's other multiple-time MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Fiserv Forum, shown here, is home to the Greek Freak. In fact, along with the state-of-the-art arena, the project created what is known as the Deer District, an entertainment area offering shops, restaurants, and of course, a name that Rob loves. For some reason, Milwaukee has a somewhat bizarre tradition of building arenas, one right next to the Bucks' previous home. Here you can see the UW Panther Arena, better known to local fans as the Mecca Arena, which was the home of the Bucks from 1968 to 1988. It was replaced by a venue that has since come and gone, the Bradley Center. The Bucks called the BC, a facility generously donated by a local philanthropic couple with hopes of acquiring an NHL franchise, which never happened, home for 30 mostly forgettable seasons. These days, the land is vacant, awaiting future development, much like a generation of Bucks teams from that era. Don't worry, Rob Deere was not injured in this photo, but this shot of the Bradley Center being torn down is representative of the ownership reign of Herb Kohl, as the Bucks were mostly forgettable during his tenure. Although, to the former Senator's credit, he did keep the franchise in Milwaukee by purchasing it in the mid-'80s, and he committed $100 million to the construction of the Fiserv Forum when he sold the team, which will ensure that it stays in Milwaukee for generations to come. Rob Deere was my favorite player growing up, so I figured I would take him and show him around the place where I got my start playing baseball and softball, this diamond at Riverside Park. A right-handed hitter with some pop in his bat, the Bronko mimicked Rob Deere, even wearing his jersey number 45 and hitting a few home runs down the hill in left field. Also, in his first left-handed at-bat, Bronk crushed one past the bike path in right center for a homer using a cross between a Will Clark and Darryl Strawberry approach at the plate. On the mound, Bronko Mania was running wild with a power arm that fired fastballs all over the zone and occasionally in both batters' boxes. Bronco's teams won 3 straight Lake Park Little League district titles, 2 as a Red and 1 as a White Sox. Yep, just 1 sock. Not far from both Riverside Park and my childhood home, Henry Meyer Festival Park is the home of Summerfest, which bills itself as the world's largest music festival. Known locally as the Big Gig, the annual summer event typically draws nearly 1 million fans during its traditional 11-day run, offering music on more than a dozen stages and enough food options from local vendors to satisfy Bartolo Colon, Prince Fielder, and David Wells. Anybody who's anybody has performed at Summerfest during its better than 50-year run, including thousands of artists you've never heard of. Musical guests Kevin and I have seen perform live here include Nelly, Hall & Oates, and OAR, just to name a few. A great festival on a great lake. Summerfest has it all, whether you're looking for it or not. A trip to Milwaukee just isn't complete without a visit to this statue in downtown, known as the Bronze Fonz. Arthur Fonzarelli, better known as Fonzie on the hit TV show Happy Days, sits along the Milwaukee River. Henry Winkler portrayed the King of Cool on the show about the 50s and 60s that was a staple of the ABC lineup from the mid-70s to the mid-80s. Winkler and most of the cast were on hand for the 2008 unveiling of the statue, and now Rob Deere got in on the fun. Ayy! The man who made Milwaukee famous is not a nickname for Rob Deere, although his powerful right-handed bat did put the Brewers on the map, or at least the American League home run leaderboard. However, that was a nickname associated with Reggie the Crusher Lazowski, a wrestling legend known for dancing the polka with his girlfriends, his dollies. He won the AWA Tag Team titles with partner Dick the Bruiser many times, and was such a legend that this statue was dedicated in his honor in his hometown of South Milwaukee. According to his obituary in the Washington Post, the Crusher was, quote, a professional wrestler whose blue-collar bona fides made him beloved among working-class fans for 40 years. I can't speak for his bona fides, and in fact I'd prefer to never hear about them again, but his legend lives on in the city, which hosts an annual celebration known as Crusher Fest. The Crusher used to say in his interviews that he wanted to take all the dollies down Wisconsin Avenue. These days, when you get to the end of Wisconsin Avenue, which is at the edge of downtown Milwaukee, you come across whatever the hell this thing is. Long a controversial piece of art, this structure is officially entitled The Calling, but as a very, very unofficial art critic, I'm entitled to call it ugly. Some refer to it as the Sunburst statue, but I think it looks like an asterisk. So, here's a compromise. I think most of us can support sending it to Houston. I think this would be a fitting addition to Minute Maid Park, home of the Astros. The debate about the orange scrap heap was revved up in 2001 with the Calatrava addition to the Milwaukee Art Museum. Designed by Santiago Calatrava, this addition was his first project in the U.S. The award-winning design features a pedestrian walkway with a 90-foot glass-walled reception hall and a wing-like structure on top that can open and close like the wings of a bird. The controversy is that the Calling effectively blocks your view of the Calatrava as you drive east down Wisconsin Avenue toward the lakefront. No matter your thoughts on public art, I think we can all agree that Rob Deere is the most splendid structure here. Milwaukee is regarded as the unofficial frozen custard capital due to having the highest per capita concentration of frozen custard shops in the world. Frozen custard, sold at places such as Gillis's, or as I was taught to pronounce it as a kid, Gillies, is similar to ice cream, but made with eggs in addition to cream and sugar. To get technical, frozen custard must include at least 10% milk fat and 1.4% egg yolk solids, otherwise it is considered ice cream. Don't worry, there will not be a quiz later. Paul Gillis opened a small custard stand in 1938 that has grown to become one of Milwaukee's most famous and most successful custard stands, and was Bronko's mom's favorite. Milwaukee is known for several things, but beer is near the top of the list. Hence the local baseball team being called the Brewers. Rob Deere and I could have visited any number of local breweries, but figured why not pick one that sponsors the team, which is why the stadium is called Miller Park. Makers of some of my favorite beverages, and Kevin's too, the brewery offers daily tours, including samples for those of age, a great gift shop with an awesome variety and supply of items, and rumor has it that a current big leaguer even had his wedding reception on the campus. Speaking of Miller, do yourself a favor and check out some of the great commercials Bob Uecker did in the 1980s as one of the Miller Lite All-Stars. Finally, it should be noted that Miller lights up the valley just after sundown during the holiday season with a tremendous display for all to enjoy with flashing lights set to music. After seeing how the beverages are made, it's time to go have a few, and Milwaukee is known for having a tavern on every corner. While that isn't quite true, there is no shortage of watering holes where a thirsty patron can wet their whistle. Among the famous bars in town is Wolski's, which has been a staple of the community for more than 100 years. This hot spot on the east side is tucked in a neighborhood, but has been a fixture for locals for generations. If you can make it to closing time, you even get the iconic I Closed Wolski's bumper sticker. It's been showing up on cars in Milwaukee, throughout Wisconsin and around the country for my entire lifetime and is quintessential Milwaukee. Unfortunately, it looks like Rob Deere has had one too many drinks during this stop on his World Tour. We hope you've enjoyed this stop of the Rob Deere Starting Lineup World Tour as he took a look at the Greater Milwaukee Area. If he heads your way, we hope you'll show him around your town and post the video to YouTube. On behalf of Rob Deere, Kevin, the Diamond King, and our graphics guru Dylan, I'm Bronko, the PSA 11. So long, everybody. You've been watching the Baseball Card Illustrated channel.